Hello and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug, and today we are taking a look at the Veteran again. So, with the recent changes, the meta has once again shifted. And sadly, they've gutted the Mark 6D Recon Lasgun. So I'll give you the exact stats of what they've done, but it's not great. So they've basically changed all the armor modifiers to unarmored, which was 75. So this is near and far. So 75% near to 100% to 90 to 75. Flak was 75 to 100, is now 75 to 50. Unyielding was 50 to 100 and now 65 to 50. Maniac was 50 to 60 and now 60 to 50. Infested was 75 to 100. It's now 100 to 75. So the hard target popping abilities on this gun has been just defanged quite heavily. The Mark II was buffed ever so slightly, but not enough to actually make it competitive. There isn't much on the 7A. From what I can see, there are no notes on the 7A whatsoever, but they may have just forgotten to put them in. But from what I can see, the 6D has been gutted, basically, which is sad because it was a fun gun to play with, even though I still didn't have a tier 4 in fairness, but that's my problem. So what are we going to do about it? Well, we're going to play with different guns, is what we're going to do. And we're back to the good old shotgun. But before we get onto the shotgun, we're going to have a quick talk about the Minotaurum Power Sword, which actually received quite a substantial buff. And I'll quickly go through the numbers with you. The first target was 60 to 108, is now 80 to 150. Second target was 40 to 70, which has been changed to 60 to 110. Third target was 15 to 31, is now 30 to 52. And fourth was 10 to 26 and is now staying at 10 to 26. This is light melee attack base damage. And the light melee attack cleave was changed from 1.5 to 2.9 to 4 to 8, which is quite a large increase. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Basically, it has been buffed across the board quite substantially. In some cases, almost a 50% damage increase on targets. The only real nerf that they've done, which is annoying, is to unyielding, which was 175, which they've switched back to 65. But carapace has been changed from 75 to 150%. So the only thing you're lacking now a little bit is on unyielding, which is mostly bosses and monstrosities. Which, you know, isn't great, but overall it came out ahead. And now with the shotguns, they have been boosted as well. So let's have a quick look at the Agrippina, which is what we'll be using for this build. They've upped the reserve from the base was 50 to 70, is now 75 to 91. The near far modifiers have been changed from 75 to 50 to 125% to 50. They've substantially buffed Unyielding and Maniac from 80 to 50 now to 90 to 50 and 80 to 50 to 100 to 50. So basically, the shotguns have been made quite scary, which is good because this is a shotgun build. So generally, this is what we're going to be using. The Minotaurum Mark III Power Sword with the same stats as we always go for, which is Carapace and Maniac. And the blessings of Power Cycle and Wrath for the increased cleave and the extra special attacks. Now for the shotgun, you can use any variant that you like. I just prefer the Agrippina. The next variant I would say you can use for this build is the Lawbringer, and I would steer clear of the Cantrell just because of how the pellet spread and the special works. But it is still usable in this build. It's just not what I prefer to use. And for this, we're going with flak and a maniac damage with no respite and full bore. And with these blessings, it turns into basically a sniper rifle. With the curios, we're going with more toughness again, with regeneration, more toughness and combat ability regeneration, and 1 wound, toughness, regeneration, and combat ability regeneration, and health, toughness, combat ability regeneration, and toughness speed regeneration. This is a very heavily team support build with grenade fun. So we're going 3 in the middle as always with close order drills, demolition team for regeneration of grenades on special kill, just for yourself. The crack grenade, picking up the ranged damage buff here. Going back down to the middle for grenade tinkerer to make the crack grenade even more aggressive. Fire team just for a small damage boost. Toughness regeneration, nipping over to the right for a crit chance boost and an extra grenade. I do find having the 3 grenades is incredibly helpful, as you can demolish monstrosities on Damnation and the Uric Maelstrom. Demolition stockpile for regenerating grenades. Voice of command as always because it's amazing. Duty and honor to provide some more toughness. Nipping over to the left here for the 2 range damage boost talents. I have been tinkering with these. So there's a 15% range damage boost from these 3 perks or blessings. I've decided to go for these instead of kill zone and long shot. Kill zone and long shot do give you a higher damage boost, but on the higher difficulties, when everything's swarming, you cannot guarantee you'll have this at all times. I find the 15% from the smaller nodes is far more reliable than these 2. And we're jumping over to the right again over here to pick up the rending from Onslaught. Don't really care about duck and dive, but riposity is very good, as dodging is going to be quite important because you will be weaving in and out of mobs. And down here we are taking a tactical awareness, superiority complex, iron will because it is actually incredibly good. A lot of people tend to not take this, but it's very, very good, especially with the cooldown that they've added into Voice of Command. They've reduced the cooldown quite a lot from 45 seconds to 30. So with the curios and the uptime, you can basically keep yourself above 75% toughness if you're careful. Confirmed kill for more toughness regeneration, competitive urge, and finally rending strikes. Rending strikes did take a hit from 15 to 10%, but it is still one of the best talents in the tree. So with this, it's a pretty simple build. Your main job is hunting specials. So the Zealots, the Ogryns, the Psykers, they will be doing all their crazy splash AoE damage. Your job is taking down anything above normal mobs. So Ragers, Specials, Ogryns, Gunners, Maulers, they are your priority. And as you can see, the shotgun is ridiculously accurate. It has a very, very long range on it, so that you can actually use it to snipe. Though the only downside to this build is the reload times. We can build into the tree, but it's sacrificing too many talents, to be honest. Because the reload perks are tactical reload over here and volley adept here. And we kind of don't have the points sitting about to get into this. What we could do is destroy our ranged damage boosts, lose the extra grenade and 5% crit to get a small amount of reload, but you're taking too much power out of the tree. And as always, crack grenades to deal with your Ogrim problem. I've been having quite a lot of success with this build. You will just be sniping anything that isn't a Poxwalker. And if you do get surrounded, you've got your sword. And if worse comes to it and you get surrounded by Maulers, Maulers will be your biggest threat in this build, especially if it's a Mauler pack, just because of how fast they are. If you are in the point where you're out of grenades and you haven't reloaded, your only choice is the sword. But as you can see, they do take a bit of killing. Substantially more killing than crushers do for some reason. But yeah, so be warned, Maulers are quite dangerous to this build, but everything else can quite happily be taken out with the shotgun. But do remember, with each shotgun there is special ammunition. With the Agrippina, it is basically a solid slug shell that can pierce. With the Lawbringer, I would say the special ammunition is basically not worth using. I don't even think I have one anymore to show you what it does. Oh no, I don't. I must have gotten rid of it. So it changes the spread of your pellets from vertical to horizontal. And the Cantrell special ammunition is quite good for clearing out hordes. But with the way we have blessed this shotgun, if you are using the Cantrell, full bore will not proc because you want every pellet to hit the same target. And that is how we're getting so much damage out of this weapon, is aiming down sights and taking advantage of the stagger and the full bore to get an extra 40% damage on each target, which stacks up pretty quickly. But do be warned as well, you will be an absolute ammo hog with most of these solid round builds. You do deplete your ammo quite quickly. And as a side note, Shock Trooper has been nerfed quite substantially. It's very buried in the notes, but there is now an internal timer, so not every single crit does not consume ammo. I think it's a 0.8 second timer, so even with las weapons you will be substantially losing ammo. So no more infinite ammo builds, sadly, because we're not allowed fun. But yeah, there you go. Shotgun build. It works well, it's hilarious, and it's quite thematic as the specialist commander this build kind of goes around. So I hope you enjoy it. If you've got any other ways of building it, please let me know. I'm always happy to try out other styles of it. And I really hope you enjoy it. And if you do, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And until the next video, take it easy, and I'll see you later.